Okay, how about we start with you telling us about Papa, your dad?
Well, Dad, when I don't remember having, as far as I can remember, me and uh, Mom and Dad were usually had already separated, as far as I can remember. So, so I'd usually see Dad every other weekend. Some summers. He always used to be working on something. Usually one of the vans, one of the campers, or random vehicle he had at that time. We've we used to play we used to play a little games at his house. He had an he had an old Atari, and at one point, I mean, we even had a old Sega system there that we used to play a lot. We used Dad had a prosthetic right leg, if memory served correctly. We we used to play around with him a lot, and we'd forget which leg was the prosthetic, go to kick him in the shin, and wind up holding our toes for an hour and a half. He was It's been so long since I've seen him. It's getting hard to remember a lot of things. He he loved his kids, and he he could get kind of ornery sometimes, and but that's just the way he was. But he was never mean, at least to what I knew. I just It's gotten so long, it's getting hard to remember.
Do you have a favorite story that happened?
There were times where he he used to live out of an old camper of his because he used to go from plot to plot, uh, building houses. Usually, sometimes he'd have help from his cousin. Other times most time it was just him, unless it was getting close to payday. Then one of my uncles would show up. But there was several times where we'd wind up just camping out on top of a pallet of boards that was set up to get ready to build the house with. We'd help put up walls. Just lay there under the stars some nights. Unless it was raining, then we piled into the camper. Probably one of the funniest stories that happened when we were with Dad had to have been, it wasn't so much a story about Dad as it was how Jason decided it was a smart idea to hide from Jerry under a pile of old clothes. Jerry came in, knew where he was instantly. Jerry had this big problem about biting, though. You could always tell when he was about to bite because he'd open his mouth wide, go, ah, rear back. And Jason, being buried under the clothes, didn't hear the signs like the rest of us did. And Jerry threw his head forward and bit him right in the jewels.
Yeah.
Me, Jim, and everybody else laughed our ass off. Jason wasn't too happy about it. But most of the time when we'd visit Dad, very rarely was it at the same location. Usually it was at what house he was working on at the time. It wasn't till later on, closer to when he passed away, he started staying in a relatively single location. That's when he got the started renting or got the trailer out there in Newton. Was living out there for a while.
Mommy's recording you too, though, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. I bet Daddy will love to hold you and just nip at that nose.
Both our daddies would love to.
You probably would have
Play
thought
with
he
you.
would. You probably would have thought he was a Yeti with all that hair, though. Him and that bushy beard. He was something else.
How about as you think about it, let's make videos of things you remember about your dad.
Okay.